everybody, how you doing? And welcome to Bones Collector. And today we're going to talk about our two-player only games that are in our library. And we do that every once in a while for Valentine's Day, which was, of course, yesterday. So we're a little late, but we've been busy, and I wanted to get this done before I went to the convention, which you can see by my t-shirt. We're down at the Escape Winter Convention at the beautiful Avante Palms Hotel in Orlando, Florida, and we're there yesterday and played 4 games with some friends and learned 4 new games, and we always enjoy doing that. Patrick is the guy that runs the convention, and it's a small convention of 350 people, so the tickets go fast, but he's got an outstanding library of games that you get to go play, and there's so many in there I haven't played, and I want to get this video done and get down there, so I better stop jabbering. So these are our 2-player only games for Valentine's Day. These aren't multiplayer games that play well at 2. Every one of these games is for 2 players only. And I love that because that's 95% of what Lori and I do is play 2-player board games, or to 2-player count. But I wanted to share these with you today. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Bruno Cathala and Theo Riveri's Nagaraja. Nagaraja is a wonderful game about each player will have a temple in front of them, a temple board, and it's a route building game that you're going to build a route through that temple and uncover sacred relics. And you're doing that with a hand of cards. Now the hand of cards have a couple of different functions, but one of them is determining how many fate sticks you're going to roll. And the fate sticks are your dice, and they're so cool because they're the same material as dice, but they're different size lengths of sticks. Each player is going to roll them simultaneously and see who wins the battle of the fate sticks, because you're going to have cards that you played down in front of you, and you're going to work some mechanics with those cards having to do with the fate sticks, and that determines whether you're going to win the tile that's up for bid. And there's certain tiles you want because you're building that route through your temple and you're trying to turn over and find those sacred relics. But beware, some of those relics around your player board are cursed relics, and if you turn over 3 of those cursed relics, you automatically lose the game. And that's one way the game ends. Another way the game ends is the player who hits 25 points first. The game ends, they automatically win. And then another way the game can end is if your temple board has been filled with tiles. And then everybody counts their points, and whoever has the most points wins the game. But I love this game. I played it when it first came out, I think 2019. We played it at a convention and really just put it in the back of our minds, and then later on it became available on a VFM, or a virtual flea market at a convention. I don't know, $10, $15, and I said, you know what, I remember liking that game. So we picked it up, and now we've played it a lot, and I really enjoy it. That's Nagaraja by Bruno Cathala. I promise not to say that much about every game, but this is a good one. All right, now I'm going to talk about an old game that I hope everybody has, called Star Realms. And this is a little deck builder, a simple deck building game. And when somebody tells you, oh, I've got a game that's easy to play, a lot of times flags go up and they don't want to play it. Oh, that game's too easy. Star Realms we bought so long ago, and we play it and still love it. I love playing it with my grandsons, and we enjoy the space theme in it. And you're simply going to be building a deck of cards that is getting more powerful and more powerful as it goes along, and you're attacking each other. It's a 2-player game, and you have a set of cards that's going to keep score in this little box. And there are other add-ons. They've added on this game so many times. I don't know how many cards are available for Star Realms now, but we just keep this little simple box. You will be able to play outposts and bases in front of you to help protect your fleets from attack, and the other player is going to have those same things, and you have to whittle them down until you can finally attack them and take away points from their cards. But you have different factions you're going to try to align to give you special benefits on the cards. Just a fun little deck builder. I still love it, still love playing it. Yes, it's simple and it's fun. And that's Star Realms. This little card game is called Wizards of the Grimoire. And Wizards of the Grimoire just came out maybe 2022 maybe. Might have been 21, I can't remember. But this is a 2-player only battler. You're again fighting each other. I love these little things, these little card games. Look at that, it's got that magnetic closure. I'm a sucker for that, I'm telling you right now. And this game is so cool because you have a market of spell cards that's available to both players, and on your turn you're going to take one of those spell cards. Now you're only allowed to have 6 spell cards, so you're going to take one of those spell cards from the market and play it in front of you. Then it has a number of cards, mana cards, that you're going to have to, once you fire off that spell, you put that number of mana cards on top, which is just the deck of cards turned over. So if it takes 3 mana to fire off that spell, you're going to put 3 mana cards on top of that spell after you use it, and then every turn after that you take one of those mana off on every round, and then finally when the mana comes off of that completely, you can use that spell again. I really love this game. It's a tight game. In other words, there are no moments in this game where you're going to put together a series of cards that's going to do 20 damage to somebody. I got you, there's 20 damage. Now this is a game, when you play it, you're going to have to think about the spells that you're taking and how they work together in order to win this game, because you're going to win the game by 2 or 3 points. It's going to be very close, and I love those kinds of games that are so close that you have to pay attention to everything you're doing in the game. And that's called Wizards of the Grimoire, a strategy card game for 2 players. I really, really like this game. I just got it not that long ago, and the card art is beautiful. Everything about this game I love. Alright, moving on. This is a little game called Bonanza the Duel. This is Uwe Rosenberg's dueling version of his big hit Bonanza, and in it you're just a bean farmer, you know, trying to plant beans in a field, and you're trying to harvest them, and once you harvest them you turn the cards over, and those are gold coins on the other side of the cards, and of course the person with the most gold coins at the end of the game is going to be the winner. But the cool thing about this is you have to play those cards in order from your hand. When you take cards in your hand, you have to place them in order that you drew them, and you can't change the order in your hand of those cards. And that's a really cool game. This is a little bit longer game, but it is a lot of fun, and we've enjoyed it very much, and that's Bonanza the Duel. Alright, who hasn't played Jaipur? I'm not going to talk about it too much. It's a wonderful 2-player only game. Set collection, outstandingly gorgeous card art in the game. You're going to get these collections of cards and grab the point tokens. There's different point tokens for every type of card that you have. I mean, there's silver, gold. I forget what all the cards are. It's been a while since I played it. But it's such a fascinating little 2-player game. And we've had this since it first came out. Obviously, this is one of the original boxes. I think they've reprinted this game and it has a different look now. But it's the same game, I'm sure. And we really, really have enjoyed this game over the years. And there's and that's all there is. A deck of cards and some point tokens. And there's a mechanic in here where there's a bunch of camel cards in this game. And the person with the most camels at the end of the game gets a bonus token. So that can sometimes mean the difference between winning and losing. But we've loved Jaipur ever since we played it the first time, and I still love it. Alright, next game I'm going to talk about is Hanakoi. Hanakoi is an I Split You Choose game, and I talk about this game all the time. This is a game that just, I don't know how anybody could not own this game. It blows my mind. This game is so fascinating, so fun to play, so thinky, and it'll burn you so many times when you're playing this game, because you have 4 action tokens in front of you, and I don't care what order you play them in, at the end of the round you're going to go, oh, I wish I had done that one first and then that one. You know, I mean, that's just the nature of this game. And you have beautiful geisha cards in front of you that you're going to try and win their favor, and once you have, I think, 4 of those tokens on your side of the geisha cards showing favor, you're going to win the game. Or if you have 11 charm points, it's on the cards, you win the round, excuse me, you win the round. And it's you play 3 rounds, best of 3 wins the game. This game is so beautiful, folks. Again, I bought this when it first came available. I mean, it was out in Japan before it came to the US, and it finally got here, and it's by Emperor S4, and it is just an amazing card game, 2-player only experience, Hanakoi. Alright, let's talk about another game that's not that old, District Noir. I'm thinking this is a reskinning of an older game, but this particular issue just came out, I think maybe 22. I'm going to say 2022. But in District Noir, that's what you're trying to do, is take over the District Noir. And there's 3 different types of cards in here. Supporters, that have numbers on them, and it's a set collection thing. And if the supporter card number is 8, you have to have the most of those number 8 cards to win that support from those cards. And then there are alliances and betrayal cards in here also that you're going to play. There are minuses and plus cards that are in the deck. There's only 45 cards in the deck, and you deal each player 5 cards. Well, before the game starts, first of all, you take 3 cards out of the game and put them in the box. You don't know what they are. I love games that do that. So you don't know what's missing. And then you deal each player 5 cards, and the round simply consists of you playing those cards into a row on the table, and once your hand is empty of cards, the round is over. But one time during that round, you have to take cards from that row, and you have to take 5 of them, beginning from the end of the row all the way in. You have to take those 5 cards. I just love this game. It has a cool player token. The card stock is linen, and they're not regular size playing cards. They're probably 1.5 times taller than a regular playing card, so that's cool too. I really love this game, and it's published by Pandasaurus Games, called District Noir. Oh my God, I got a lot of 2-player only games. This is a little game we got when it first came out called Home, Sherlock and Micro, and it's by Diego Ibanez. Nobody ever mentions this game in their 2-player only games. It is a beautiful little worker placement game, and with set collection. You have cards that are going to be on the board. They each do a different action. So you have a set of workers, your opponent's got a set of workers, and you're going to select which cards you want to activate. And once you do that, at the end of the round, you lay your workers down, those cards are going to turn over, and not going to be able to use them the next round until they get reactivated. But I love this little card game. Again, it's a set collection game where you're trying to collect sets of cards, and there's, I think, map cards you can collect to give you bonus points. But I've loved this game. I don't know how many times I thought, should I get rid of that game? And I never can. I'm going to keep it forever. It's by Diego Ibanez, did I say that? And it's called Holmes, Sherlock, and Micro. A lovely little game from DeVere. Oh gosh, let's talk about Aqualin. Aqualin came out, it says 2020, so it's not very old. But I love this game too. It's all these 2-player only games I just adore. This is quick fun. When you just want to play a game that'll make you think, it's a nice puzzle that's quick, 15 to 20 minutes per play. So every time you get this out, you'll play it 2 or 3 times because it's very quick. You have a board. One player is going to choose colors of tiles to group together. The other player is going to choose animals that are on the tiles. So it's like starfish and seahorses and stuff like that. And you're trying to group those together on the board. On your turn, you're allowed to move a tile and then place a tile out of a group of 6 that's showing in the market. And move a tile, play a tile. Next player's turn. Move a tile, play a tile. You're simply moving all those tiles around until that board is completely filled, and then you score it according to the groups that you've put together. I love Aqualin. It's simple, thinky, and fun, and it's an adorable little game. I hope you get a chance to try it. Aqualin. Alright, here's a game we've got 2 versions of, and it's called Mr. Jack. And this is Mr. Jack Pocket. We have 2 versions because this little Mr. Jack we like to take when we travel. It's just a tiny little box. But this is a deduction game, which I generally don't like. I think we have 2 deduction games in our entire library, 230 game library. And one of them is Mr. Jack, and the other one is Tobago. But in Mr. Jack, of course, Jack the Ripper has taken the identity of one of the investigators. So that's one player. He's trying to hide, and the rest of the investigators are trying to find him. And there's a picture of the board, and there's tiles that light up the dark, and so any hexes that are adjacent to one of those yellow tiles is in the light, and if it's not adjacent to one of those tiles, it's in the dark. And those investigators are moving around this board trying to find the identity of Mr. Jack. And it's such a fun deduction game because it's quick. Deduction games can drag on, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really care for them, but this is magic, and I love Mr. Jack. I bought this up at my local game store for $10, and it's got the expansion in it and everything, like brand new. I don't know if anybody ever played it. And then we picked this up very cheap because it's inexpensive to begin with, but we love to take it traveling. That's Mr. Jack, and this is Bruno Cathala. Yeah, Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Maublanc, 2 wonderful designers. And I always tell you guys, you know, designers, great designers, hard to come by. Bruno Cathala is one of them. Okay, let's talk about Land versus Sea. This is a relatively new game. It's a little tile laying game, and as you might imagine, one person is the land, one person is the sea. And it's just a bunch of hex tiles, and you're laying them out on the table in front of you, connecting them, trying to connect your particular passion, which is going to be either the water or the dirt. And you're trying to connect those. The larger areas you can build, the more points you're going to score. And there's some special tiles that give you special things too in this that make it interesting. But we love this very much. And on the box it says 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players. 4 players you're just going to play on teams. 3 players is an asymmetric thing. I wouldn't bother. This is a 2-player game. I don't know why they bothered doing anything else. And the box is the scoreboard also. So that's pretty cool. But that's Land versus Sea. Lots of fun for a little tile laying game. I played it at a convention when it first came out, and I told Laura, you know, I kind of like that game because it's so quick and because it's so thinky, and I enjoy those types of games. That's Land versus Sea. All right, I'm going to cover some games that are abstract strategy games. This one's called Kamado. Oh man, I love this game. This is a game that if I take it to a family function and set it up, somebody's playing it the entire time we're there. It's so interesting. It has a board of squares that's all different colors. Your pieces are like the castles that are in a chess game, and the top of them have different colors. Now when you move that piece to a certain square, let's say purple, your opponent has to move their purple castle. That's the only one they can play. And that's the way the game works. And when they move that purple castle to an orange square, you have to play your orange piece. The object is to get one of your castles into the back row of your opponent. It can happen quick, it can happen not quick, but I've seen this game end, and most of the time the other player didn't see it coming. And that's pretty amazing. I love this game. I saw Luke Hector talk about it on the Broken Meeple a few years ago, and I immediately had to pick it up, and I'm glad I did because I enjoy every play of Kamado. There's a picture of the little pieces that you're going to be using. They're nice chunky pieces. I love this game. It's so fun to play. And I think there's another version too called Kamado Max, but this little 2-player only box right here, just love it. Kamado. Okay, the next abstract strategy game that I love is called Pentago. And these games are inexpensive, guys. This is a very inexpensive game, but it's so cool because, as you can see there, the platform you're playing on moves. So on your turn, you're going to play a marble of your color and spin a platform. You don't have to spin the one that you're on. You can spin any platform. And the first one to get 5 marbles in a row of their color wins the game. And again, this is one where you'll go, I didn't even see that. You know, I didn't even see that coming. And you'll get beat. My 12-year-old grandson loves this game. He calls it the mind-twisting game because that's what it says on the box. So whenever he comes over, he says, hey, Papa, get out that mind-twisting game. I want to play that. He loves that. Has all kinds of awards. Had the Mensa Select Award. So this is a really fun abstract strategy game. It doesn't cost you very much. And what I'm going to take a minute and show you something that's really cool about this game is it comes in this little travel pack. Right there. That's the game. And just take the lid off, and that's the platform you're playing on, and you play away. It's absolutely fabulous. I love this game so much. I can't believe that a game like this can have just such a lasting life in your board game library, because there's times when you just want to have a simple rule set. I mean, there's, what, 2 rules in this game? Yeah, you play a marble, you spin a platform. That's it. Whoever gets 5 in a row wins the game. That's Pentago. This is a game Lori and I have purchased, I don't know, 20 years ago, I don't know, when it first came out, called Goblet. It's a fascinating game. Fascinating. And it works on the premise, and that's your board. This is a wooden box, which I love. Let's face it, that's pretty cool stuff. Then each player has a set of these, and inside each one of these are smaller ones of these. Of that color. So one will be black, one will be tan, and then in these, I don't know if you guys have never played this, there's 4 pieces. And this game is so thinky because when you're placing these on the board, you can obviously gobble up your opponent's piece, and you're trying to get 4 in a row. So you can gobble up your opponent's piece, he can gobble up yours, and eventually you're going to have pieces on the board that are there you can't see. So it has a bit of a memory element. And you're like, oh my God, what is under that piece? I remember that they put that there, but I can't remember what's under it? Is theirs under? I mean, is there anything under that? Where is that black piece I put on the board? You have trouble remembering no matter how hard you try, but it's such a fun game. Again, we got this game, gee whiz, I'd hate to speculate, when it first came out, I think.
Which was 19, no, I think it was 2000.
2000 maybe?
Yeah.
And just a fun experience. And again, these are abstract strategy games that have very simple rule sets. You don't have to read a huge rule book, and you can grab this game out and put your mind through gymnastics that are quick and fun. And it's just an enjoyable adventure playing Goblet. All right, let's talk about a game that's a little more in-depth called Starship Katan. And Starship Katan is an older game. Do I have the year? I don't. It's not on the back. Oh yeah, 2001. So this is an old game. And this is by Klaus Tuber, the guy that created and designed Catan, Settlers of Catan. And we love this little two-player version. Each player has a spaceship. You're going to be able to upgrade it with different tiles on your ship. You can upgrade your cannons, you can upgrade your engines. And the cannons are going to be fighting pirates, and your engines are going to determine the speed of your ship. Now, why do you need your ship to be fast? Because there are 4 decks of cards on the table. And those are different galaxies, I think. And when you choose one of those decks on your turn to fly through, your opponent's going to take that deck, and you're going to say, I have a speed of 6 on my ship. So, and there's a dice mechanic in this game, so you're going to roll dice, you're going to add it to the engines that you have, and you can say, well, I got a speed of 6. Your opponent's going to be able to turn over 6 cards to show you, and they'll turn one over and you'll say, I'm going to fly through that one. Okay, I'll turn over another one, and because these cards do different things, and you may be waiting, pushing your luck, hoping for something in that deck, and if it comes, you grab that card and you're going to use it, but here's the rub. Later on in the game, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I remember there's a card I want. Now, which deck was it in? And that's the rub in this game. Which deck was it in? And I tell you, I've been so mad at this game because I know there's a card in there that I can use, but I couldn't remember which deck it was in. And this game is fabulous because of that. And I really, really enjoy playing this game. First player to 10 points wins this game. I love it. That's Starship Katan. But I will say this as a caveat, hard to find this game.
Oh yeah, really hard.
Really hard to find this game. I think I either traded for it or...
traded for it.
Yeah, I traded a game for this, but I love that game. All right, let's talk about Patchwork from Uwe Rosenberg. If there's a 2-player only game that's going to go down as one of the best ever made, this will be it. Yeah, this is Patchwork. It's just a fabulous polyomino laying game. This is Patchwork Christmas Edition. I didn't, Patchwork was out for years, and I liked the game. I played at conventions. I really enjoyed it. But I just never purchased a copy until they made one I liked. And they've got like 5 different ones, so whatever your flavor is that you enjoy, Patchwork makes it. I think there's a Valentine, there's a Halloween. It's pretty cool. I bought for my daughter, but Lori and I picked up this Christmas edition, and we really enjoy it. You're just simply trying to cover up your board as efficiently as you possibly can, and any bases left uncovered are going to count against you at the end of the game. But man, I just really, really love Patchwork. It's one of those games that'll work its way into your heart and you'll never let it go. By Uwe Rosenberg. Oh.
You bumped her in the head.
Oh, sorry. This is a 2-player game that came out recently called Fairy Tale Inn. Fairy Tale Inns by Palomore and Remo Canzadori. This game is a 2-player only game using the Connect 4 rack. And if you've seen that game before, it kind of looks like this. Now, in this box are 8 different characters, and those characters score different ways in this rack. And according to adjacency rules, plus there's some bonuses on the rack itself that you can earn, and the player with the most money at the end of the game wins. I love this game. I saw it played on YouTube, and instantly I said, that is an easy game that I'm going to like, because the puzzle's pretty fun. And lo and behold, I picked it up, played it, and I wasn't wrong. I love this game. That's Fairy Tale Inn by Palomore. And Simon Games. Thank you, Simon Games, for, usually I'm not a big Simon Games fan, but this one I really, really love. All right, for the sports enthusiast, I'm going to talk about a 2-player only game called Sakaro. And I don't know how hard it is to find this game either. I mean, at one time it was pretty difficult. And this is the best soccer sim I've ever played. Now there's a game called 11 where you're a manager of a football team, but here you're actually playing with a football team, and I'll show you what I mean. But here's the beautiful field board, and this is 1/4. I'm not going to unfold it, but that's what your field looks like. And you have these beautiful nets that you put out on the board, and there's your teams, and you use these dice to manipulate those guys down the field. Dribble the ball, it has a soccer ball, and you're going to be able to steal the ball. You can shoot the ball towards the goal, and there's different rules having to do with that. But whenever I get together with my son, Adam, I play this game with him. He's a big soccer fan. Yeah, I've kind of shifted my alliance to this kind of football rather than NFL football. But this is a wonderful 2-player only game if you like that kind of sports theme. Sakaro. All right, I got a couple of games I'm going to talk about. Patterns and Mandala. Patterns says a Mandala game, and they both use the same scoring mechanism. If you've played Mandala, you know what I'm talking about. Both of these games, oh gosh, I can't say enough about them. This just came out. This is a 2023. It's in my top 10 for 2023. It could be number 1. It could be anywhere in that list. This game is so fascinating, Patterns. It's just like Mandala. It has a linen board. Gosh, some publishers are brilliant, aren't they? I mean, if you had a cardboard board to play this on, or a neoprene mat, this box would be enormous, and that's not necessary. That linen board is brilliant. It's brilliant in this game, and it was brilliant in Mandala. And I wish more publishers would wake up and smell the roses and get their boards in the box. Neoprene mats drive me crazy if they do not fit in the box, and that's so annoying, because you have to have a special tube or special storage for the neoprene mat. And just, I don't know, drives me bonkers.
Have that kind of space.
Yeah, especially if you got a lot of board games, your space is at a premium. But in Mandala, is a card game, and you are trying to play cards into the Mandala in different fashion. Okay, so you might see a little jump skip in this part of the review because the battery went dead, and so we had to change that. But these two games are so wonderful to play, you guys. I can't say enough. They must be in your library. Please give them a try. They're inexpensive, they'll burn your brain, and you will fall in love with them when you play them. And that's Patterns and Mandala. Alright, now I'm going to talk about a game called Carcassone The Castle. This is Reiner Knizia's take on Carcassonne. And in this game you have a frame that's going to sit in the middle of the table, and all the tiles will be laid inside that frame. And the funky thing about this game is you don't have to match the terrain. so it's hard to get used to when you're playing this game. You don't have to match that. So it's like, oh man. And the frame of the game is the scoring track, and it comes into play because you can get special tokens and benefits that are available when you hit the corners. So you're trying to score a certain amount of points in the game as you're laying those tiles. You can really determine yourself how many points you score, and once you do that, you move your scoring marker, and I hit that bonus tile. So you're going to take that bonus tile. This is such a wonderful 2-player only game. I don't know if we bought this or traded for it. It's hard to find.
It is hard
used to be. I don't know. I think someone mentioned there was a reprint or something. It's called something else. But man, what a fabulous take on Carcassonne. And I would never get rid of this game. I love it immensely. And I don't play it enough. So that's Carcassonne The Castle by Reiner Knizia. And listen, I'm going to talk about this game next. This is Star Wars Risk. Now, there's a couple of versions of this. This is the Black Edition. I picked this up quite a few years ago. I think Amazon was blowing it out. And this must have been 5-6 years ago.
It's been a while.
And this was inexpensive. And this Black Edition is so nice, has some wonderful pieces in it. But you're going to be the Empire or the Rebellion. And you can play it 4 players and do the team thing. And it's a simple game. And it has the little pieces and everything, just like Star Wars Rebellion. Have you played that game? And I had Star Wars Rebellion. But it bugged me so much with those big plastic pieces not being painted. It got on my nerves because it just subtracted from the fun of the game. So I sold it and I kept this game, this version, Star Wars Black Edition Risk, and I absolutely love playing it. Lori and I get it out very seldom, but I'm glad I'm keeping it because I love to play it. It's simple and fun.
I think it's made by Mattel.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hasbro or something.
It was Hasbro Games,
Yeah.
Disney IP. I mean, I love this game, and for the time frame that this was produced in, I was pretty impressed, man. And it got this foam piece that holds those, and then in here's the rest of the pieces. And the 3 minis that you have in this game are the Death Star, the Imperial Fighter. I got little Lego figures in here that we use
Yeah.
because we're goofy. What are you gonna say? The Millennium Falcon, the Imperial cruiser, and the Death Star. And then these beautiful card decks come with the game. I love this game. And then you have a bunch of little minis that you use in the game that are different colors, but I'm okay with that because this game didn't cost nothing. You know, I mean, and then
they're all different colors anyway.
You got some dice that you use, and the game is fun. And that's all I ask out of a board game, is that it be fun and enjoyable. And I kept this one over Star Wars Rebellion. I'm never ashamed to say it, because every time I get it out, I tell everybody that. And yeah, I love it. That's Star Wars Risk, it's called. And there was a cheaper version of it, which it plays exactly the same, but in this particular instance, we like that one. But, yeah. Okay, the last 2 games I'm going to talk about, 2-player only, are games that supplanted games that I had. And these are by Uwe Rosenberg. He's a great 2-player only designer. He's got a new one out called R.N. Burger Canal. And I'm going to play that game. I'm not that fascinated with it as of yet. It has a resource wheel on it, much like Glass Road, but I'm not here to talk about that. But anyways, let's talk about these 2 games. This is Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. This is Caverna, Cave versus Cave. And I had both of these games in their original form, Agricola and Caverna. Agricola, Lori and I just didn't find that game, the tight economy in that game was
too tight.
Too tight for us. It took away from the fun for us of having a board game fun. And so when we heard about the 2-player only version, let's give it a try. We were at a convention, we played it, and I said, man, I really like that. And then we found out they were coming out with a big box version, which had expansions, which is
buildings and more buildings, or something like that.
Expansions are buildings.
And even more buildings.
And even more buildings is the second expansion, which is what you get. So I like that.
Yeah, that's all we wanted was building.
Yeah, I like that they were up front and didn't call it something goofy. But yeah, so you're just simply doing all the things you do in Agricola, corralling your animals and the animal husbandry, and you're scoring points for how you do that. It's a worker placement game, just like Agricola. The economy is tight, but not overwhelming. Not overwhelmingly. And they took away the cards, which is the thing that we like the least. And we're glad the card mechanic was removed from this game. And I guarantee you, every time you play Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, you will say, I wanted one more turn. Just one more. Because you're on the verge of something great. But I love that game. And then this one is Caverna, Cave versus Cave, 2-player only, for 2 players. We love playing this game, Lori and I. It has Era 1 and Era 2 in it. Era 1 was the original game, Era 2 was the expansion, and in this game it uses an action selection mechanism in it where you're simply going to start out the game with certain tiles on a board, and you're going to take one of those tiles on your turn. That's my action I want to take. And you're going to take that tile off the board, and you're going to take that action. And it uses that as a round counter also. So as you go through the game, you're going to turn over more action tiles as you go each round and have those actions available to you. So it's so much fun, and you have your cave board, you're building your cave board to score points, and it's, I don't know, Caverna, when we had that box on the shelf, and most of the time, I said 95% of the time we played 2-player only. So Caverna was just a waste for us. It had components for 7 people in the game box, a huge box for no reason. Yeah. You know, I don't even think I would get that again, even if they made it for 4. But I thought it was a huge mistake for the publisher to make that game for 7 people. It should have been 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and then if you wanted to have an expansion for people that, for whatever reason, would want to play with 6 and 7 people, you could do that later. But hey, that's another argument.
The best thing about that game is if you play Era 1, the little board where you keep your resources is tight. You have to squinch them all up.
The original game.
Yes.
Yeah.
The original game when it was just Era 1.
Yeah.
This one with Era 1 and 2, they made the board wider, so now your resources all fit.
I mean, it's so much fun. Again, it's just a wonderful 2-player only experience that gives you that grip and feel like Caverna, its big brother, and the same thing goes for Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. Those are our 2-player only games for this year, and these have been in, most of these have been in my library for a long time, and I enjoy them, and I could see people who only play 2-player with your significant other, having a library that looks just like that. That would be a great library of games to have right there and play over and over and over again. It's just, they're so wonderful, and I was glad to present them to you today. I hope you found something or saw something that interested you. Please, if you have any comments, leave a comment about any of these games. I love hearing from every one of you, and we try to get back to all of you. So, you know, as we're driving in the car somewhere on a trip, Lori's on the phone answering comments, and so we try to do those things, and hopefully we stay in contact with you. We love every one of you. Keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of games like I just showed you. Please like, please subscribe. See you the next time on The Bones Collector. Bye-bye.